Hey guys, I'm T and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, we make trendy and fun crochet tutorials twice a week, and if you haven't already, smash that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to join in on the fun. In today's tutorial, we're covering a basic that belongs in every wardrobe, a high neck crop top. A quick and easy modern make. Speaking of, by now y'all already know the drill, but just in case you're new. Modern crochet tutorials and patterns are here with even more dropping twice weekly, so tell a friend and consider clicking the bell to subscribe and you'll never miss an upload. Also, do me a huge favor and give this video a big thumbs up if you like it, or 2 thumbs down if you don't. Either way, it's a great way to show support so I can keep putting out free tutorials every Wednesday and Sunday. Now it's time to get on the show, so without further ado. For this project, any category 4 yarn will work, but I use a total of 155 grams of yarn. That's 280 yards if you're stateside. As for tools, a 5mm hook, scissors, stitch markers, and a tape measure. There is a written pattern down below. Use offer code TCDDIY for a discount off any $9.99 plus order. And enter this week's pattern giveaway by telling us your favorite dog breed. There's plenty that I think are cute, but my favorite dog breed is a Shih Tzu. Details for the giveaway down below. We're using 3 stitches for this project, and they'll be as follows. Chain, slip stitch, single crochet, and half double crochet. This tutorial is made for a size small. You can adjust it for your size and I'll explain how to in the video, so let's get started. Getting this top started, we're all going to grab our category 4 yarn and make a slip knot. Then we're all going to grab our 5mm hook and start off by making a chain that starts 2 inches underneath our underarm down to our underbust, so roughly where an underwire would sit. I need roughly 3.5 inches or 9 centimeters, so I'm going to start by making a chain 15. Now that we have our chain, we're all going to block off that last chain and do a chain 2. That chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch, that's our turning chain. Then from here, yarn over, preparing for a half double crochet. Into that chain that we blocked off, or the 3rd chain from our hook, we're all going to insert with 1 half double crochet, so pull through to get 3 loops on our hook, then yarn over, pull through 3, and again, yarn over, into that next chain, pull through 3. Continue with 1 half double crochet into every chain, leaving the last one. We made our way down with our row 1, leaving that last chain. Into that last chain, we're all going to do an increase of 2 half double crochets. So yarn over, into that last chain with 1 half double crochet, into that same last chain with a 2nd half double crochet. Now our row 1 is complete and we should all have 1 more stitch than chains that we made. Now we're going to get started on our following row, which is a back loop slip stitch row, and that will start with an increase as well. How we're going to do that increase is we're going to start with a chain 2. That first chain will count as a stitch for the following row. That 2nd chain is now our turning chain. Then we're going to flip our work. Into that chain that we blocked off, or the 2nd chain from our hook, we're all going to insert in through that back loop, or the loop that's furthest away from us, then yarn over and gently pull through everything on our hook. We do want to make sure that we're not pulling through too tightly, otherwise the following row will be too tight to work into. Again, into that following stitch's back loop, yarn over, pull through everything. Once more, next stitch's back loop, yarn over, pull through everything. Continue with 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch. We have just completed our first 2 rows. Now from here, it is going to be a repeat of our 2 previous rows, but now all within the back loops. So just to get it started, we're all going to chain 2, flip our work, and now put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch. So starting with the yarn over, insert your hook into that first stitch's back loop, or the loop that's furthest away from us. Pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, and continue with 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch, leaving the last one. We made our way down with our row 3. We should have all left that last stitch, so into there we're going to insert with an increase of 2 back loop half doubles, pretty much the same way that we did our row 1. And now our row 3 is complete. Since we're here, just to get started on our row 4, we're going to chain 2. That first chain will count as a stitch for the following row. Second chain is our turning chain and flip our work. Then into that second chain from our hook, insert into that back loop, yarn over, gently pull through everything, and continue with one back loop slip stitch into every stitch. Now our first 4 rows are completed. All we're going to do from here is continue to repeat these 2 previous rows until we have a portion that can stretch, because remember it does have a decent amount of stretch to it, from mid-underarm all the way over to the front of our body, roughly until we are 1 inch in from the side of the base of our neck. Then I'll meet everyone back right after an odd number row, so that we'll be along the top right after a half double crochet row. Then we can work on the neckline together from there. So we are back. I have just completed the underarm portion. Now I have a total of 15 rows. This width is just about 4 inches or 10 centimeters unstretched. Now from here, since we all should have ended along the top, we're now going to make a chain that reaches 1 inch beneath the base of our neck. So as a really quick tip, we want to make sure that the tail end is still staying roughly 2 inches underneath our underarm, and this blunt bottom portion is still staying at our underbust. Then go ahead and make your chain. Now I went ahead and measured by now. I needed roughly 3 inches or 8 centimeters, so I made a chain 12. Now I'm going to do the following row of my row sequence, which is a back loop slip stitch row. So now that we have our chain, we're all going to block off that last chain and do a chain 1. Now into that chain that we blocked off for the second chain from our hook, we're going to insert with a slip stitch. So just into that chain, go ahead and insert, yarn over, and pull through everything on our hook. Then from here, continue with 1 slip stitch into every chain. Then once we reach the body, 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch. Then I'll meet you back at the end of the row. Now that our back loop slip stitch row is completed, we're just going to do back loop half double, back loop slip stitch rows with no increases, no decreases, working across our chest until we are 1 inch before the other side of the base of our neck. So since we're along the bottom, just to get started on the following row, chain 2, flip your work, and now simply put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch. So our first 2 rows are completed. All we're going to do from here, like I said, repeat these 2 rows with no increases, no decreases until we are 1 inch before the other side of the base of our neck. Then I'll meet everyone back right after a slip stitch row, so that we'll be along the bottom. Then I'll meet everyone back so we can complete the rest of our underarm together from there. So we are back. We have just completed the neckline portion. Now I have a total of 30 rows. This width is just about 7.5 inches or 19 centimeters unstretched. Now we're going to finish up with our underarm portion. So first things first, we're going to, since we all ended along the bottom, insert our stitch marker into the same amount of chains that we made that led up until we were 1 inch beneath the base of our neck. So for those of you that have my numbers, I made a chain 12. So along this side, counting from the top, I'm going to insert my stitch marker into the 12th stitch. Then I'm going to do my following half double crochet row. So chain 2, flip our work. Put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch, leaving 2 stitches right before our stitch marker. Then I'll meet you back. So we are back. We've made our way up with our back loop half double crochet row, leaving the last 2 stitches right before our stitch marker. Now we're all going to do a decrease of 2 back loop half doubles. So starting with yarn over, we're all going to insert our hook into that second to last back loop, pull through into that next stitch's back loop as well, pull through for a total of 4 loops on our hook, then yarn over, pull through all 4. Then we're going to do a slip stitch row that starts with a decrease as well. So chain 1, flip our work. Then to do our slip stitch, decrease into that first stitch's back loop, pull through into that next stitch's back loop. When we have these 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Then from here, continue with 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch. So we've just completed our first 2 underarm rows, and now from here it's just going to be a repeat of these 2 previous rows until we have the same amount of rows as our first underarm portion. Now just to make sure we all have our decreases down, we're all going to chain 2, flip our work, put 1 back loop half double crochet into every stitch, leaving the last 2 stitches again. So we've made our way up, leaving the last 2 stitches. Now from here, yarn over, into that second to last back loop, pull through, into that last back loop, yarn over, pull through for 4 loops on our hook, then yarn over, pull through 4, then just to get started on the following row, chain 1, flip our work, and start this row with a decrease as well. So into that first stitch's back loop, pull through, next stitch's back loop, then yarn over, pull through everything on our hook, and that's it. From here, continue to repeat our 2 previous rows until we have the same amount of rows as our first underarm portion. Once we do a chain up one and cut, then I'll meet you back. Alrighty, so we are back. We have just completed the entirety of our front panel. Now, I have a total of 45 rows. This total width is just about 10.5 inches or 27 centimeters unstretched. Then from here, once we have this, what we're going to do is make a second panel that is exactly the same. Then we can seam everything together. So now that we have both of our panels completed, the next thing we're going to do is seam everything up. So first things first, we're going to make sure the work is flipped right side out, right side up. Then insert your hook into the bottom corner stitch of both the front and the back panel. Insert our yarn onto our hook and pull through. Then we're all going to do a chain up of one, just to secure. Now we're going to do an outside loop slip stitch seam. So finding that first stitch into the front panel, insert into that front loop. Next stitch into the back panel, insert into that back loop, then yarn over and pull through everything. Again, next stitch into the front panel, insert into that front loop. Next stitch into the back panel, insert into that back loop, then yarn over, pull through everything, and continue on with this until we don't have any more stitches left to work into. When we don't, do a chain up of one and cut, then repeat on the other side. So we are back. We have just completed seaming everything together. So now what we're going to do is prep for our underarm detail that we're about to do. So first, we're going to make sure the work is flipped right side out, right side up. Then we're going to insert our hook into the top corner stitch of one of our panels, then start with one single crochet into every stitch. Then I'll meet you back once we reach our first side rows. So we are back and we have just worked our way down the side of our front panel. Now we're going to work down our underarm portion. So all we're going to do is put 2 single crochets into every side half, 1 single crochet into every side slip. So everyone's first side row should be the side half double crochet row. So find that top loop and insert with 2 single crochets. There is 1. Into that same top loop with a second single crochet. Then once we reach our side slip stitch rows, we're going to find that top loop and insert with just 1. And that's basically it. We're going to continue doing this, making our way all the way down and back up the other underarm portion. Then once we reach the stitches on the other side, simply put 1 single crochet into every stitch. Once we've made our way all the way up, do a chain up of 1 and cut, then I'll meet you back. So we are back. Our single crochet row along the edge is completed. Now from here, we're going to get started on the length of our underarm detail. So what we're all going to do is insert our hook into the chain space that we made when we got started on this single crochet row. We're doing it this way because we want the connection into the single crochet row to be as clean as possible. Now what we're all going to do from here is insert our yarn onto our hook, then make a chain the length that we'd like for this detail to be. Should be roughly about 1 inch or 2 centimeters for everyone, since we left roughly 2 inches underneath our underarm. So I'm going to start by making chain 5, and that's just about 1 inch for me. So now that we have our chain, we're all going to do a slip stitch row down. So start by blocking off that last chain and do a chain 1. That chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, that's our turning chain. Then into that chain that we blocked off, the second chain from our hook, insert with a slip stitch. Now that slip stitch doesn't count as a stitch. And from here, simply put 1 slip stitch into every chain. So we've made our way down with our row 1. Now we're going to connect it into the base. So just finding that next available stitch, we're going to insert with a slip stitch. Now that slip stitch doesn't actually count as a stitch, that's just to connect. Then to work our way up to the following row, slip stitch into that following stitch, into the base. Still does not count as a stitch, that's basically a turning chain, and we're going to flip our work. And make our way down, putting 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch. So finding that last stitch from our previous row, we're going to insert into that back loop, yarn over, and gently pull through everything. And from here, since we already know how to do our back loop slip stitches, continue with 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch. Then at the end of the row, we're all going to chain 1, flip our work, and put 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch again. Then I'll meet you back at the end of our row 3. We have made our way down. We should all have 1, 2, 3 rows completed. Now we're going to connect it into the base again, the same way that we just did. So just finding that next available stitch, insert in with a slip stitch. Remember, that doesn't count as a stitch. Then since we're here, simply slip stitch into that following stitch into the base just to work our way up to the following row. Flip our work, and then make your way down with 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch again. From here, we're going to continue to repeat these 2 previous rows with no increases, no decreases, until we don't have any more stitches left to work into. When we don't, do a chain up of 1 and cut, then I'll meet you back. So we are back. We have just completed our underarm detail. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then once when we are done with that, then do not do a chain up one and cut right after the second one, because we can actually work straight into the neckline together from there. So as you guys can see, I already have my second one completed. We all should have ended along the outer edge. Now from here, we're just going to chain one and single crochet across the top of our panel first. Now all we're going to do is put one single crochet into every stitch so far. So just finding that first stitch, insert with one, into that next stitch with another. Now that we have just worked our way across with our single crochets, working into the top of our side rows, what we're going to do is put one single crochet into our top side single crochet row. We should have just one on both sides of our panels. So just find that top loop and insert with one. Then working our way all the way across, one single crochet into every side slip, two single crochet into every side half. So find that top loop of the side slip stitch row, insert with one, find that following top loop, and insert with two. And that's it. We're going to continue on with this until we make our way all the way over to this corner over here. Then I'll meet you back. So we are back. We have just single crocheted across the top of one of our panels. Once we reach the corner, we're now going to make a chain that can reach up and over our shoulder to the top corner stitch on our other panel. Now, just as a really quick tip, we are going to make the same chain on this side, so if you guys would like to do a little tester row, go ahead and do that. This single crochet row slash chain that we're currently doing is going to do two things. It is going to be our neckline, so we do need to make sure that it can fit around our head, but it is also going to form our armholes at the same time, so we want to make sure that this chain is also keeping this underarm portion nice and comfy. We don't want to make the chain too tight, otherwise the armhole could become a little too small. But once we have our chain length, we're now going to connect it into the other side. Just to let you guys know, I made a chain 12 because I needed just about 2.5 inches or 7 centimeters. Once we have our chain, we're going to flip our work over. And now we're going to single crochet in the top corner stitch of our other panel. Now the single crochet is going to count as our connection and as a stitch as well. So this is the first single crochet for this portion. What we're going to do, continue with one single crochet into every stitch. Once we reach the top of the body portion, one single crochet into the top of our side single crochet rows, then one single crochet into every side slip, two single crochet into every side half. Well, we've made our way all the way across, make the same chain that we just did over here, then I will meet you guys back so we can connect it to the beginning of the row. So we are back and our single crochet row is completed. Now what we're going to do is slip stitch it into that chain that we made when we got started on this row. So in through that chain, we're going to insert our hook and slip stitch into there. That slip stitch doesn't count as a stitch, that's just to connect. Then just to sturdy things up, we're going to chain one, and working in the same direction as our previous rows, we're going to be putting one back loop single crochet into every stitch. Then once we're working into our chains, just one single crochet into every chain. So just to do the first, finding our first available stitch into that back loop with a single, next stitch is back loop with a single. Go ahead and make your way all the way around, then I'll meet you back. But just as a really quick tip, this single crochet row is going to be as wide as this portion can stretch. So once when it's completed, try your piece on. If it's a little too tight, reduce some stitches with a looser grip, or if it's too loose, reduce some stitches with a tighter grip. Alright, so we are back. We have made our way all the way around with our single crochet row. Everything is fitting nicely, so now all we're going to do from here is just do our same exact band that we did for the underarm portion. So just to talk you guys through it, right after we slip stitched into that chain space, we're all going to make a chain the length that we like for the collar to be. I'd like for mine to be about 1 inch or 2 centimeters again, so I'm going to make a chain 5 again. Then just do our same exact back loop slip stitch rows, making our way all the way around. While we don't have any more stitches left to work into, I'll meet you back so we can seam it all together. Alright, so we are back. We have just completed making our way all the way around with our back loop slip stitch rows for the collar. Now we're going to seam it together, and this seam is actually going to be done exactly the same way that we did the side seam. So just to talk you guys through it, we're all going to make sure that our work is flipped right side out, right side up. We're going to do the same exact outside loop slip stitch seam that we did for the sides, then do a chain up one and cut. Now we can get started on the bottom band. So now that our collar is all seamed up, the last thing we're going to do is our bottom band, and that's going to be done pretty simply, so I'm just going to talk you guys through it. We're all going to start by making sure that our work is flipped right side out, right side up. We're going to insert our hook into any one of the side rows that we have along the bottom, then do a single crochet row along the edge, starting with one single crochet into every side slip, two single crochet into every side half, and just make your way all the way around. Then slip stitch into that chain space. Now, just as a really quick tip, again, this single crochet row is going to be as wide as this portion can stretch. So once when it's completed, try your piece on. If it's a little too tight, reduce some stitches with a looser grip, or if it's too loose, reduce some stitches with a tighter grip. Then I'll meet you back. So now that we've made our way all the way around with our single crochet row, we're now going to do more back loop slip stitch rows, exactly the same way that we did the underarm detail and the collar. So just to talk you guys through it, we're going to, right after we slip stitch in that chain space, make a chain the length that we'd like for the bottom band to be. I like for mine to be just about 2 inches or 5 centimeters. So I'm going to start by making a chain 10. Then do our exact same back loop slip stitch rows with no increases, no decreases, making our way all the way around. When we don't have any more stitches left to work into, I'll meet you back so we can seam it all up. Alrighty, so we have just made our way all the way around with our back loop slip stitch rows for the bottom band. Now we're going to seam it, and this seam is going to be done exactly the same way that we did for the sides and for the collar. So again, making sure the work is flipped right side out, right side up, we're going to do our same outside loop slip stitch seam so we don't have any more stitches left. When we don't, do a chain up a 1 and cut, then we are all done. Then the last thing we have to do is simply weave in all of our ends. And there you have it, y'all. Hope you enjoy the tutorial. Join us on Instagram, Pinterest, or Twitter. Those links are down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Catch you on the next one. Bye!